Well, we're back outside and hopefully the very noisy blackbird behind me has chirped down a little bit. It is another spectacular British summer's day and you've caught me eating a frozen product, an ice cream. And I've been thinking about things that could be frozen. What if we froze all arms procurements, stopped exporting, stopped importing them? And that's one of the things I want to talk about in this Defence Part 2 of the Freedom Friday series. As you see, I haven't got my usual Freedom Alliance t-shirt on, and that's because it took a bit of a beating whilst we were out at the Standing Light Festival up in Cumbria over the weekend. And props out to Fifi from Stand in the Park and Daz from The Light Paper who put this on. And it's the third year that's been going. I would encourage everyone to go. You might need wellies, but we had absolutely glorious weather. So I had a smashing time. I'm going to eat my iced product and then come back to you. So Freedom Alliance defence policy number 4 is no to war profiteering. As you know, there are far too many big businesses who are building weapons or systems for weapons, and they go from the small things like parts for radar, which we know is manufactured in the UK, all the way through to huge tanks, missiles, etc., etc., which is not done in Britain but is done elsewhere in the world, and we supply parts for that. So we would say stop exports of war goods, essentially. Procurement would have to be really, really well and tightly controlled so that we know that if we are making things, manufacturing things like radar systems, etc., they're going out for good purposes. Now, one of the things we have to make sure, though, is that we can still defend our own borders. So we would prioritise any manufacturing of arms and the like for our own borders, not for exports. So yes, better that we have nothing at all, but we need defence of the realm, so we need to keep our manufacturing for the defence of the UK borders. Imagine a world where the tools of war can't be built. What a fantastic place that would be. So nobody could have a kinetic war. Yes, we'd have alternate wars, there might be data wars, there's other things, but if we had no kinetic wars, then you'd have far, far less killing of innocent people. Freedom Alliance defence policy number 5 of 6 is truth and transparency. Now, this is a relatively simple thing to say, but very, very difficult to do, because we want truth and transparency about the wars that we engage in or have engaged in. We would want to look back, all the way back, look at the Iraq war, all the way through to Iran now. And whilst we know that Keir Starmer said, and props to him on this, he's having nothing to do with the Iran war, we do still support America, we still support Israel and a lot of other things as well. So we might not be physically involved in it, but militarily and support-wise, then we still have connections. So we say that for every war we are considering supporting or having to engage in ourselves, then we would want a parliamentary cross-party agreement with full transparency about the reasons why, the terms and the expectations of what that war would be. So that would get rid of these land grabs, these resource grabs, or supporting a government that is acting like a terrorist. We would have to have a proper, firm debate, and we would ensure the British people are right behind it. Finally, and this one is very close to our hearts, is about veterans' dignity and support. Final principle of Freedom Alliance's defence policy. Now, we said we'd talk about what that actually means, but let's just make it really simple. We give housing away to all sorts of people. Refugees, quite rightly, but migrants, economic migrants, sometimes there are illegal migrants getting them. We do not prioritise, at the moment, veterans getting those houses. And when you look at what the government's projections are, something like 25 to 50% of new builds will be handed over to migrants. That can't be right if there are veterans who want the homes and are currently homeless. So we would prioritise their having homes, they're having jobs, and they're having the means and the wherewithal to get the right health care, whether that be mental health care or physical health care. We do owe them a debt of gratitude for giving up their lives for the service of the country. And when they come back, if they're injured, then they need to be looked after properly.